Are you learning from every single sales appointment you have? Are you improving over time? Are you helping your staff improve? We're going to talk about one of my favorite methods to develop and train salespeople, as well as develop and train yourself to be better at selling and helping others right now in this video. What's going on, you guys? I'm Jeff Burlingame, professional mentor and sales specialist for Two Brain Business. And if you want to move yourself closer to personal wealth, you need to subscribe to this channel. Also, be sure to smash the like in this video and ring that notification bell so you can see when we drop more content. All right, how do we get better at selling? Well, there's obviously books you can read, seminars you can attend, you can role play, and I highly recommend that you do all those things. However, I don't want you to overlook one of the easiest things you can do, and that is what I call the sales debrief. Basically, what you're gonna do is you're going to go through a sales appointment. In our case, with Two Brain Business, we offer what we call a no sweat intro at our gyms. And that is an opportunity for about 20 or 30 minutes where a person comes in, sits down with a coach, with a salesperson of the business, and discusses their goals and, more importantly, the why behind those goals, the reasoning for signing up for said gym, and then we close the sale. Following that no sweat intro, what we would do is the debrief, right? Sit down and either by yourself or preferably with another person like a coworker or a peer, go through that sales appointment and try to identify what went well, what didn't go so well, and what we need to do next time, or action steps. So let's kind of zoom out on the sales appointment. First thing you need to do is you need to look at all the parts of the sales appointment. What sections of that appointment are there? That way, once I debrief and go through and determine where I'm struggling, where I have opportunities for improvement, I can just zoom in on that one part rather than trying to focus on always doing the entire sales appointment over and over and over and over again until I get better, because that's a big waste of time. You might be awesome, for example, at your nice warm greetings. You might be great at what I call the discovery phase, where you're learning about your client. You might be great at closing. You might be great at objection handling, but you might struggle at one other section, say transitioning to the close, for example. So once you identify the area you struggle at, then you can hyper focus on that to improve that area. It's gonna make you better in a more rapid fashion. So here's how I break down the sales appointment. And honestly, this applies to any industry, so this might be helpful for you regardless of owning a gym or not. Maybe you own something more like a soccer facility, like some clients that I work with. Maybe you you have a t-shirt company, right? Like whatever it is, you can break this down and this will help you. So here's how it breaks down for me. You have your introduction or your warm greeting, right? Your hi, hello, how do you do? Introduce yourself, what's their name, confirm their appointment, that kind of thing. Some people struggle at that. So that's a section you need to look at. Then you're gonna have your discovery phase. This is what I believe, in my opinion, is the most important part of the sale, because without knowing my prospect, knowing their needs, knowing their desires, it's gonna be very difficult for me to sign them up for whatever it is that I'm selling. Product or service alike, doesn't matter. This is the part where we ask all the questions and we try to figure out what their specific goals are that meet SMART goal standards: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely, and what their why is, or what we might call an emotional tie down or a hot button in sales. This is like that thing that really pushes them over that tipping point and gets them to sign up or commit. So that's the discovery phase. After that, there's a transition to the close. This is a short section, but it's important. In this section, you need to smoothly transition from tell me more, tell me more, tell me more, all this investigation about who they are and what they want, to here's our product's pricing presentation. And that needs to be smooth. It needs to make sense. And some people will struggle at that. So there's the transition to the close. Then after that, there's the closing phase, and this consists of a pricing presentation, closing, and objection handling. So you might struggle with simple presentation. Maybe you're doing feature dumping. You're talking too much about your features, which honestly doesn't help you sell it, and you're not speaking enough towards how this helps this person. Focus more on that. Bridge the gap. Like, what's in it for me is essentially what they're wondering. So being better at connection could be an example of something you could do better, an opportunity for improvement. So your pricing presentation. Then your actual closing question is a whole section in and of itself, because most people struggle with asking for money. So you go through the pricing presentation, fine, here's all the products. Then you struggle to be like, it'll be $5,000. Eek, yeah, I know that's expensive. That's a bad way to close, right? So work on closing the actual sale, and then finally handling objections. So you've gone through everything else. Everything was amazing. You went through presentation, perfect, mwah, chef's kiss. And then you say, it'll be $6,000. How would you like to get started today? And they say, I can't get started today. I can get started next Friday. And you say, okay, great. See you then, right? They're on the be back bus. They're not coming back. That's the deal. We've talked about that on the channel before. So you haven't made a sale. Until the credit card is swiped, you have not closed the sale. Don't tell me you did. You didn't. So objection handling could be the area you struggle with. So now we have the sales appointment as a whole. We've got our intro, warm greeting, we got discovery, transition to the close, pricing presentation, the close, objection handling. So now you can identify all the different areas. On the debrief, give yourself 10 minutes or less to sit down immediately after a sales appointment, or as close to a sales appointment as possible so it's fresh in your head, and just go through everything, right? How did I do at the warm greeting? What happened? What went well? What didn't go well? What could I do better next time? Document this. Then go to discovery and do the same thing. Then transition, then price presentation, then close, then objection handling. Go through each of those phases and determine what went well, what didn't, and what we could do better next time. So you've got bright spots, you've got things you struggle with, and now you have action steps. Then take all those action steps and try to apply one or two of them to your next appointment. And as you do this over time, I promise, if you do it for your next 5 appointments, for example, your scope is going to narrow. You're going to start to determine like, ooh, yeah, I really struggle with like the back half of the sale, or the front half of the sale, or the middle. And then you're going to start to further narrow that scope and start to target a specific thing that you struggle with and just get better at it. This is hands down the fastest way to develop into a professional salesperson. Just keep learning. And this is also why having a third party there, somewhat outside perspective, especially like a superior or just somebody who is better at sales than you, that outside perspective can be just immensely helpful when it comes to developing. So for example, when I first got into sales, I used to record my appointments. Now be careful about this, that is illegal unless you tell the person you're recording. So this was a long time ago, statute of limitations and all, I'm just kidding. But like record on my iPhone, and then I would send the audio recording to my boss and I'd say, hey, what could I do better? And that was an example of that outside perspective. He'd send it back and he'd say, hey, this, next time. Immediately I would apply that on my next appointment, and I just got better and better as the weeks went on. If you do this, you'll get better too. All right, hopefully that was helpful for you guys. Go after it. Do the debrief after your next 5 appointments, and let me know how it goes for you in the comments below. Again, I'm Jeff Burlingame, professional mentor and sales specialist for Two Brain Business. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Smash a like on this video and ring that notification bell so you can see when we drop more content. We'll see you guys on the next video.